Hi everyone, welcome back to Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. My name is Stacy. I have another Dollar Tree DIY, quick, simple, and easy project for you to do. And I totally took inspiration for this one from Jennifer over at A Little Bit of Calm and Crazy. I am going to change mine up just a tiny little bit, but the inspiration comes from her, so go check out her video. What I have is one of these Hello Fall signs with the little red truck on it. I'm going to reuse this inside part, and I've already cut the string and taken it apart. So that's going to go to another thing for another project. I took some wood filler and filled the holes. The hanger was here, and this is where the inner pumpkin was attached. Filled it with wood filler. Not really concerned with the glittery side, and I am going to cover this glitter, so I'm not going to worry about sanding it off. But this is the side I need to worry about. Now I've sanded down the wood filler so that these are nice and smooth. And the first thing I need to do is give it a couple of coats of Waverly chalk paint in ink. Okay. And the other supplies you'll need for this project are some Mod Podge. I prefer the matte. You can do glossy if you like. You will need a piece of foam core from the Dollar Tree, and I just used the pumpkin as a template to cut that out. And the same with a piece of um, scrapbook paper in whatever pattern you want your pumpkin to be. Okay, and I chose this kind of black and white gray plaid. All right, but the first thing I need to do is get some paint on this pumpkin so it can start drying. I am using Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. Now, it's probably just going to take a couple of coats. It might get done in one. Sometimes I get lucky. Just give it a good paint. You can leave it just, kind of a thin coat and distress it if you want. You can leave the edges brown. You can do whatever you want. It is your pumpkin. I am going to go ahead and paint the edges. Wow, I think one coat is going to do it. I'm going to set this aside to dry, and we'll move on with the next step. So I want to paint the edges of my pumpkins so that they're black and look nice against the edge. So I am just painting the foam core edge before I adhere my paper to it. Now, I didn't have to use foam core. I could have used, darn it, I could have used black poster board, which is what I wanted to use. But I have been to 3 different Dollar Trees, and I guess with school starting, everybody's making what I did over the summer posters, and they were all out of black poster board, so I had to pick up this foam core. They have a black one, but it still has a white foam. The core in the middle is still white. If it had been black, that would have been perfect, because this will give some stability to the paper once it's adhered to it. But yeah, so I'm just going to give it a base coat, and then when I'm all done, I will paint the back of it black too. But I'm just going to get the edges right now. And then the next step is going to be to Mod Podge my paper onto my foam core. The edges have had time to dry, and now I need to Mod Podge on the paper that will show through the center of the pumpkin. Now, make sure you're paying attention to which way your stem is going on the side that you painted, and make sure that everything is curving the same direction. If you want to leave the glitter side up, you go ahead and leave that glitter side up. But be careful when you're filling in those holes, because they'll really show on the glitter side. So just pay attention to which way your stem is going, and life will be good. All right, so the first thing I need to do is put some Mod Podge on my pumpkin. Now, when this makes contact, it's going to want to stick. So you got to kind of work quickly, and it'll slide around a little bit, but it's not going to slide around a lot. And when I cut this paper piece, I did kind of cut it a little bit smaller than my pumpkin. Oh, shoot. I just ripped it. Don't do that. If you rip it, just paint some Mod Podge on the back. Stick it back on there and hope for the best. This will most likely be completely covered by the frame, hopefully. And somehow I got black on there. Grr. Okay, so I'm going to use my brayer and I'm going to roll it out, starting from the middle and working my way out. Don't do what I did. So I don't know how I got black. It must not have been dry. Okay, so be really careful with your edges because apparently the paint has soaked in to the foam core and it's not completely dry like I thought. And now I have paint transfer happening and that's not cool. Okay, so I'm using my brayer and I'm getting out all of the bubbles. Please disregard the sounds of my dogs rustling in the background. All right, this has been one of the best investments for Mod Podge projects. I know I've said it before. It's just a brayer. This is a Martha Stewart brand. You can get several different brands. I got this one at Michael's, and they honored a 60% off Joanne coupon for me. And so I think this was originally $13, so I got it for about $5, $6. Okay. This is an amazing tool for Mod Podging, especially if you don't want to put Mod Podge on the top because it's going to really get those bubbles out for you. Okay. I'm a little bit upset with myself for getting that paint smear on there, but you know, crafting is full of happy accidents and we're going to see what we can do about that. I have some baby wipes. And this might be a total disastrous thing to do, but I'm going to try and see what I can at least rub off some of it. I should have tried it sooner. Okay, because this is a textured paper, it kind of has a fabric texture. This is working for me. If you don't have a fabric look, it probably won't because it's kind of pilling the paper a little bit. So I'm just kind of pushing and blotting and dabbing and, ooh, there we go. As soon as it gets saturated enough, the big blob rolls off. But I didn't want to put Mod Podge on the outside, but I might have to. I might have to fix my boo-boo. Darn it. Okay, hopefully the words I put on there will cover that and we'll be good. If not, we'll be Mod Podging the top of it as a fix for that. All right, we're back. We are ready to attach the black frame to the base piece that we made. While this was drying, I went out and I took it into the garage and I painted it with just a clear spritz of the matte clear Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch. Got this at Walmart. I think it's about $5 a can. I've had it for quite a while. It lasts quite a bit. I have not had good luck with my chalk paint in black staying nice looking. It scratches up and it mucks up and shows all the little marks and all the little bits of whatever. Like this one, if you scratch it, you can see it. And it's just kind of frustrating because I don't want a shiny surface on my pieces. I like the matte finish. And I love the finish of chalk paint until you scuff it. So unless you're going to intentionally scuff the whole thing and make it look like it was part of your design, you're going to want to seal it somehow. Now there's also a brush on kind that comes in like a quart. Creative on the Cheap. Courtney over there at Creative on the Cheap uses it. I don't remember what brand it is, but I know she got it at Home Depot. I just have the spray paint on my shelf, so that's what I used. Okay, anyway, enough said about that. Seal it if you want to. If you don't, don't. If you want it shiny, use the semi-gloss. Totally up to you. You could even coat it with Mod Podge, but you know how I feel about Mod Podge on the top surface. We already went through that. So I'm going to take this and it needs to get glued on. So I'm going to put a hefty amount of glue all the way around. So this is what is going to attach my pieces together. And you're going to want probably a pretty hot temperatured one for this particular job so it doesn't cool off and harden on you too fast. Set it down and quickly get it into place. So there is that. So this is the basic design. Now we need to decide what's going in the middle. I have this pack of words that came from the Dollar Tree. It says thankful, harvest, and welcome. And I can decide which one I want to put on there. And I don't think I want to put harvest because I want this to be a little more, I don't know, harvest kind of tells me that we're just going to do into fall, the early fall, and I want it to go all the way through fall. So I can put it as welcome, or I can put it as thankful. If I put thankful, that gets me all the way through Thanksgiving, and that's what I think I want to do. Okay, I wish that it kind of showed up a little bit better, but I do like it, and I'm thinking that I might want to adhere it with some of the foam core tape from the Dollar Tree. This is what I'm grabbing. It's the Super Glue brand foam mounting tape. Comes in little squares, little rectangles actually. It's from the Dollar Tree. And when I'm going to go to the hassle of popping something up, I want it to pop up. So what I do is I take off 2 of the little pieces, and both sides are covered with a wax paper. One side is a little bit bigger, that's like the backing. I go ahead and peel that off of both of them. They are just perforated so that the squares are kind of stuck together. Don't mind my dirty hands. Then where they're kind of stuck, I use that as a hinge and I fold them over on top of each other. Now I have 2 thicknesses, double the thickness, okay? Then I take my scissors, and these are really tiny words, so I'm going to cut really tiny pieces. And I'm just going to cut them and let them fall. They are covered, the sticky part's covered, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm just going to cut them teeny tiny because I need them to be able to fit onto these letters. Okay, so now I have all these little bitty pieces, and if I need more, I can get more. It's not a big deal. I'm going to turn my thankful word backwards, and I'm going to take one of these pieces, and I'm going to peel off one side of the backing. Only do one side at a time. Because they're so tiny, it's a little bit more difficult, but I think just having them popped up is going to make all the difference. It'll put some shadow behind it. You can choose to put hot glue on each one of these if you want, but I have found that this particular foam mounting tape, I think because it's Super Glue brand, is super duper sticky, and I think it actually sticks a little bit better if you don't put the glue on. Maybe the glue would make it stick longer, I don't know. But I haven't had a problem with these falling off, so it's going from one smooth surface to another, so it's not a big deal. Other people say make sure you put glue on top of them, don't trust the adhesive. And normally I say that about stickers, but this tape for some reason seems to be pretty amazing. All right, so I need to figure out where I want to put it, and I'm going to kind of, I think, put it at an angle. I kind of like that at an angle. I'm going to set it down gently without pushing it to make sure it's where I want it. And once I know it's where I want it, I'm going to push down and make sure that that tape that I put on there is making contact in all the right places. Okay, now there's a little bit of a shadow on there, and it pops up, and it's better than it just being flat on there. Let me put this one beside it so you can see the difference. Okay, see how flat the welcome is, and see how nice the thankful looks because there's shadow behind it. It makes it stand out a little better. I really like that. If you don't like that, you don't have to do it. Do it exactly how you want it for your particular decor. Okay, now for the fun part, decorating. Now these are the leaves I got at Hobby Lobby. They are buffalo check. They're just heavily starched cotton. I really like the size of them. And they came in a pack, burlap and the buffalo print. These are the ones I got at the Dollar Tree. They were burlap, but they're really big, and I think they might be too big for this project. They did have some felt ones, but it didn't come in black, so I didn't really want to use that. I wanted black or burlap. I could make this leaf work. This is an oak leaf. Could put that there, and then the little maple leaf. I could do a little cluster. Oh, I kind of like that. Let's see. These Dollar Tree leaves have a nice, great, big, long wire on them. So I could do those and then put that there in the middle. I do kind of like that. And then I could tie a Dollar Tree jute bow and finish it off. I think you all know how I do my bows by now. So I'm going to wrap it 7 times around, and I'm going to do 4 fingers on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go one more. Start and stop at the same spot. I'm going to cut my tail long, and then I'm going to cut it off so that I have this piece to tie the middle of my bow. So I'm taking my fingers out, keeping my thumb and my index finger where I started and stopped, so that that joint of it gets put into the middle. Otherwise, you'll have an extra set of tails, which is perfectly fine if that's what you want. It's not what I want. So I'm going to put this little extra piece around the middle and tie it in one knot. And I'm going to make sure that I have that in the center. And then I'm going to tie another knot. Okay, that's how I make a jute bow. And then I twist the tails kind of the way I want them. So I'm thinking something like that looks pretty cute. I think that's what we're going to do. But I need to get those wires off first. Fluff up my bow a little bit more. And there you have it. Now, I will paint the back of this black because I don't like unfinished projects. But I want this to be able to stand. So in order to make this a standing sign, I'm going to use some of these blocks, the towering Jenga block games from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to start by gluing 2 of these together, and you can use wood glue if you want. I'm just going to use hot glue because I don't care if they're like super duper close together. So I'm going to squish it, rub off the extra that shoots out sides. I'm going to stick this on the back like that and just kind of see if that will hold it. I think it might. I might need to put one more on it just as a little brace. Okay, so we're going to try gluing this on. So I'm going to put glue on one side on the wide side. Okay, just a good bead of it. Then I'm going to set it down, and I'm going to set the sign down, and I'm going to kind of put the sign at just the tiniest little bit of an angle, leaning back just a little. And as that glue hardens, it's going to kind of just become a little brace on there. Hopefully I can show you that. I want there to be good contact with the sign. I want the sign to have good contact with the table. And I'm holding it at just a little bit of an angle until that glue dries. And then see how there's a gap right there between the foam core and the block? I'm going to pump some more glue into that so that as it hardens, it keeps the space there. It makes a little spacer that keeps that at an angle. I hope that makes sense. Just going to kind of smooth off my glue. Let that harden. Just kind of using that hot glue that I just put in there kind of like as putty to hold that space open. Let it cool and let it harden. Okay, and then with any luck, once it's hard, it will stand up on its own. You could just put it straight flush up against the sign like that, but this is a pretty tall sign, and I'm afraid that it's a little too front heavy for that and that it will tip over. So I tipped it back just a little, left a gap, filled that gap in with hot glue, and I think it's gonna work. So let's try it. Ta-da! And it stands, and it does. Let me know what you think of this project in the comments below, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. So that really helps my channel out, and plus it lets me know what kind of projects you like to see on my channel, so I can keep putting things on that are interesting. I don't want to bore y'all. So that is that. Now remember I showed you I had a red paintbrush going on? I want to show you what I'm planning on doing with that. I don't have all the pieces dry and ready to go just yet, but I want to show you what I'm working on. Okay, this is the hot buy pad that I got at Michael's. It's called Pumpkin Spice, and it is so cute. It's blues and golds and kind of reddish orange, and it's got furry woodland creatures, and it focuses more on acorns than it does on pumpkins, but there are some pumpkin ones, like that one is beautiful. Okay, but it's just woodsy, and I really like it. I really, really like that page. So anyway, pumpkin pie, apple pie, critters. Okay, so it's just a really beautiful pad of paper. Pumpkin Spice at Michael's. It's a hot buy. So one of the pages was a full-on 12 by 12 square of gray, and it had these cute little foxes down in the bottom corner. Well, I didn't want it all gray, but I thought, okay, what can I do with that? Because I really love this fox picture. So you'll notice this is not the shape of a pumpkin completely, because that was the edge of the paper. So what I did is I just kind of positioned my pumpkin to where it centered that little fox. Okay. And I kind of wanted the little baby kind of in this little dip right here, and I just liked the way the red complemented the orange. And so this red is Apple Barrel Cardinal Crimson. Okay, and this is just one coat on that. It's still got the glitter on the other side. I did all the same things. So that's going to get glued on there, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to use harvest on this one, or if I'm even going to use these words, because they go over the top of the fox. But welcome fits, so I might just do that one and pop it up like I did the other. I just thought that was so cute, and then it will just get burlap leaves and a burlap bow. And that is what I'm going to do with that one. I don't have the foam core cut for this one yet, so I'm not going to assemble it for you, but I just wanted to show you the idea I had with using some of this big picture scrapbook paper that I don't normally use for cards and things, because sometimes when you fold the card, this is either too big or it's in the wrong place and it ends up on the back of the card. So this is a way to use that up. And I don't mind these little gold embossed lines right here. I think it just kind of adds to it. Okay, so that's idea number 2. And I will be backing this with foam core. I just don't have it done yet. But I just wanted to show you what I'm working on. Okay, so let me put this guy back in, because this was our project. Make sure you go over and check out a little bit of Common Crazy's video, because like I say, I took inspiration from her, then kind of did it myself, my own little way, especially with the fox. So go check that out. This has been Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.